Hey everybody, have you ever thought about using staples to attach your quilt backing to your leader? I thought I'd give it a try. As you can see, I've put a little tension on my backing fabric by connecting it to the clamps at either end to just put a little tension on it and hold it straight. I'm going to be using an electric stapler, so it helps it go a little bit faster and a lot easier actually. So I'm grasping both the leader cloth and my backing, and I'm placing the staple on the backing so that the top of the staple faces the backing and the prongs that hold the staple in are connecting on the leader side. So I'm holding and stapling as I go along, and I'm probably stapling about every 4 inches or so. So initially I start out holding the material, staple, hold the material, staple, but I got a little bit faster as I went on. The salvage edge of my backing material is what I was using to attach to my leader. So I pretty much was able to confine the staple into the area of the salvage, and that part is going to be cut off, so you're not going to see it ever again. So I was pretty pleased with how well the staples connected in the material and the prongs folded right into the leader. Initially, I started stapling from the right to the left, but I found out if I put a stabilizing staple further down to the left, I can also staple backwards from the left to the right and still keeping my backing material taut and straight. So now you're looking at the placement of my staples, about 4 inches or so apart. So you just grab up the leader and your backing material and place your staple. And because of the way the stapler is made, as soon as the fabric enters into the jaws of the stapler, probably about, a quarter of an inch, it triggers the stapler to put the staple into the fabric. So there you can see, I'm holding it up and staples are nicely placed. That's front side and the back side. And it seems to be holding really well. And I like the fact that it was nice and smooth. So there you're seeing a close-up of the staple. Not necessarily straight, but it held the fabric perfectly. I was able to quilt my quilt. I did remove the red snappers and then was connecting the staples to the backing material through that casing that my red snapper tubing would normally be in. And when I finished, I'm just using my electric scissors and I'm trimming off that probably inch or less than an inch of material. I'm trimming that off from my leader, and then I'm going to go back and pull that little strip of fabric away from my leader, making sure that I'm holding it tightly enough to make sure my staples don't go flying. I love these electric scissors. I always use them to detach my backing from my quilt. I'll use it to trim batting. So there I'm pulling away that little bit of fabric from the leader. I'm just trying to make sure I grab hold to it so the staples don't go flying. There were no injuries in this demonstration. There's no blood on my leaders, so I was very happy about that. So I'm just moving along and pulling that strip of fabric away from my leader. And as I said before, the prong end of the staple goes through the leader cloth and then closes down. And that's why I'm pulling the head of the staple off and away from the leader. It goes very quickly. So as you can see, I'm pulling away the salvage edge. There I had to pull out a staple, but I only did that once or twice. For the most part, as I was pulling the fabric off, the staple was coming with it. This is a very good alternative method to pinning to using red snappers, and it goes very quickly. The one advantage I found with it is with the red snappers you have that tubing that goes into the casing and then the clamp that goes over top of that. Sometimes that creates quite a lump in your fabric, and with this quilt I was using 2 layers of quilt batting, so it wasn't possible for me to even use the clamps across the belly bar to hold my fabric in place because it was so thick. Very happy with this method. It goes very quickly, and it doesn't leave a lump in your fabric like you get from the red snappers. I would say this takes a few seconds longer than the red snappers because you do have to pull that strip of fabric off. And with the red snappers clamp, you just pull it off. And mine I bought at the time when they made the clamps probably 24 inches long. So it comes off very easily. So I'm finishing up the project here. I'm pulling off the last of the strip of fabric. And then all you have is that little strip of fabric, which I'm just going to toss, and you're done. Give it a try. If you like this video, please subscribe and like for more video content. Thank you. God bless.